of you asked, but if you've ever been wondering why I care so much about the classics, both well-known and obscure, is that they are very clearly not appreciated enough in the modern age. Nowadays, corporations only care about what makes them money, and what makes them money is usually what people talk about and consume the most. And with gaming, it's usually high-budget realistic single-player blockbusters, or high-budget realistic online multiplayer blockbusters. Shooters. Don't get me wrong, games that match this description can be some great games, maybe even the greatest. But am I original for enjoying those franchises? No. Am I original for breathing oxygen? And while we're on the topic of PlayStation, ever since the PS4 Pro, probably somewhere around there, or whenever Jim Ryan took office, they mainly cared about graphics and storytelling over a diversity in their library. Besides Ratchet & Clank or the occasional re-release or remake in Sackboy: The Big Adventure, haven't got to that one yet, it's been pretty much only that, and there is next to no variety. Not like there hasn't been any good games, it's just that I've been worn out by counting the strands of hair on Ellie's face. And when the PS5 came around, that hasn't changed. Not only has there not been enough games, jokes aside, there wasn't even enough consoles. And only one of those aren't true as of 2024. And this is how it's gonna stay too if they keep making money off of it and getting praised for it. So it's not a surprise that people may be disappointed in modern gaming. But imagine how surprised they might have been when a fucking tech demo blows them all out of the water. You probably shouldn't though, because like Wii Sports. Team Asobi is a studio that is the last remains of PlayStation's Japan studio, because they shut it down, but kept Asobi so that they could make more tech demos, because that's what they did. Many people know Astro Bot from Astro's Playroom for the PS5, but his start actually goes farther back than that. The Playroom for the PS4 was where the bots first appeared. That was the PS4's tech demo, where they showed off the augmented reality with the camera and the inner workings of the DualShock 4, and that's about as much as I know. PlayStation VR also had a tech demo called the Playroom VR, which focused more on actual gameplay experiences, ones you can play with other people who aren't wearing the headset. This included the bots as well, but here they are more dressed up and have more personality. One of these experiences is a platformer called Robot's Rescue, which is technically Astro's debut game, though he has yet been named. You play as this nameless bot in search of your fellow bots who've been lost. This small game mode is the major turning point of the series, by making it a series. Astro finally got a titular title called and name in Astro Bot Rescue Mission, also for the PlayStation VR. It's more Robot Rescue, but way more advanced with multiple worlds and levels, boss fights and power-ups, and something that kinda resembles a plot? That's not even the best part, it's actually a second-person experience. You're actually this guy. Yeah, I know. It's kinda unfortunate that this is stuck on the VR1. This looks like a really fun VR game, but clearly it was enough of a success to continue using the Astrobot name for Astro's Playroom. It plays exactly the same as Rescue Mission, but flat, which surprisingly doesn't take away from the experience that much. It kinda does, but it's not that big of a deal since this is a tech demo. In this game, you're not saving bots, although they play a bigger part than some would imagine at a glance. Instead, you're collecting artifacts, which are a bunch of PlayStation-related memorabilia. Not just the consoles themselves, or some of their accessories, but damn near all of them. There are some obscure ones, like the GPS for the PSP, and the PlayStation 2's network adapter, the Pocket Station, the PS1, not to be confused with the PS1, there's a difference, and its screen. No PSX though. They would forget about that, but I didn't. Not to be confused with the PSX, there's a difference. Each of the 4 levels have artifacts based on each of the 4 home consoles and their accessories. They are also based on the PS5's 4 key components: its memory, fast SSD, cooling fan, and strong GPU. There are 4 power-ups for each level too. The jumpy guy is my personal favorite. And if mentioning random accessories no one remembers wasn't enough, there are also many bots cosplaying as many PlayStation characters. Not just owned by them, but some third-party characters well known for or got their start on the PlayStation. This game, tech demo, pack-in, whatever, may also be a turning point in the sense that there are cameos from all over PlayStation's history. It makes sense since these bots are supposed to live inside your PlayStation, like how I'm in a PS2. Why not have bots reference PlayStation games that are also in your console? Which leads me to, finally, goddamn, Astro Bot for the PS5. The title just being Astro Bot after there are 4 other games is like, I'm just saying, you know. Astro's Playroom was so well received that finally Asobi gets to create a fully fledged high-budget console platformer for Astro Bot. We are unbelievably lucky that this game exists during a time where PlayStation seemingly only cares about the heavy-hitting narrative-driven shit, let alone have it perform and review so well. Since this is the game I'll be talking about, I'm gonna leave it there and get into it, and then you'll understand why I miss the PlayStation of old. Astro Bot goes back to the series' roots by having you rescue bots that have been scattered across the galaxy by Nebulax, the same alien from Rescue Mission who I forgot to mention earlier. Actually, the intro to this game is pretty much the same as the one in Rescue Mission, which is a neat touch. Nebulax sticks his hand in the PS5-shaped mothership as opposed to the PSVR-shaped mothership, takes the CPU out instead of the headset, he does the bye-bye, the ship gets damaged and all the bots, including Astro, flies off. Astro is damaged but quickly repaired by your controller, which is known as the dual speeder here. If the hub didn't wow you before, the first level definitely might. It looks absolutely phenomenal, and from here on out, each level will flex just how many physics-based objects can be on screen at once, showing that Team Asobi really shows off every single thing the PS5 is capable of doing, even though this is a full-ass game. It actually plays a bit different from Playroom. Holding square to do the spin is shorter. I'm pretty sure you don't have a very small amount of extra air time when punching in midair, and you can swim now. And it isn't entirely annoying. That's awesome. But the real major difference comes from the power-ups. There are so damn many! What's great about Astro Bot is that no 2 real levels are the same. There are a bunch of unique ideas, and even though not every level includes a power-up, not every level uses them in the exact same location. The first ability you receive is the Octo Balloon, which inflates you, which can take you to higher or further places. It appears later on with a much greater presence since this time the level takes place entirely in the air, so it might make sense. Other power-ups include extendable frog boxing gloves, a rocket bulldog, a rocket chicken, an elephant that gives you the exact same power-up as in Mario Galaxy 2, a PSVR headset that allows you to slow time, an armadillo that lets you roll around like in Mario Galaxy, one that literally turns you into a sponge, the monkey one from Astro's Playroom, that literally nobody likes, so I don't know why they brought it back, and my personal favorite, that turns you into a mouse, and allows you to shrink. That only appears in 1 level, which sucks, but I guess it's pretty situational, and I can't imagine how much work it took to make this level work that well, so I can't blame them. And more, that I didn't mention because I don't really like those. And there are items that you can also find like light bulbs, magnets, and rubber ducks to help you traverse through levels that need them. They are very few and far between, but all of them are different and used in different ways. Like I said before, most of these power-ups come back with different uses. Like there's a ghost level with the time slower, a level where the elephant uses concrete instead of leaf sap and whatnot. These levels may be linear, but still reward exploration and curiosity by hiding a bunch of coins, more important collectibles like bots or puzzle pieces to unlock more stuff in the hub, or even alternate exits to secret levels, which pretty much are actual levels, just with less bots and puzzle pieces. Speaking of secret levels, there are plenty of mini challenges in each world, some you can reveal yourself, or some that randomly show up, which are pretty annoying, or at least it could be for those who thought they did everything, only to find out no you fucking didn't. But it's not that bad, because these mini levels, especially the Lost Void ones, which there are like 12 of, and the later battle challenges get really difficult, and that makes it more fun. I'm definitely not a masochist. Some levels include a mini boss, which are all really short but unique nonetheless. After beating 3 stages in a world and saving enough bots, you will fight the real boss, most of them also returning from rescue mission. But there are a couple of new bosses as well. You use some of the power-ups you used before to fight each boss, and one of those power-ups was the rolling thing I didn't even like, but the boss fight with it was actually really good, and that shocked me. All of these bosses are really good, actually. None of the power-ups even make them annoying. Like, I thought for sure the PSVR one was going to be annoying for the Mecha Leon boss fight, but it wasn't. It was just a really fun boss. As a matter of fact, as much as I might hate some abilities or gimmicks, none of these levels overstay their welcome or have an this part moment. Every single bit of this game is well crafted, and that to me, for a platformer, is astronomical. No? Nothing? Okay. Now this segment right here, I knew I was going to have to talk about this separately because it was going to be me geeking out for like 10 minutes straight. I've been weaving around talking about the specifics of the bots until this point because there's actually a lot to go over. One of this game's major selling points, and honestly kind of sucks that it's a selling point, but it is quickly excused, is the PlayStation cameo bots, which they call VIP bots. Alongside the regular bots, there are almost 200 PlayStation themed bots in this game, themed around PlayStation characters. You have your safe bets, like your Ratchet and Clanks, your Sly Coopers, your Parappas, even your Gravity Rushes. But there aren't just PlayStation-owned characters. There is a surprising amount of third-party characters in here, which opens the doors for many iconic PlayStation-based franchises like Crash and Spyro, Tomb Raider, Monster Hunter, Metal Gear, Persona, and Resident Evil. Klonoa! He's not that big, but I had to mention him at some point. And then there are some that literally didn't even start on PlayStation but are here anyway, like Ulala and Arthur. And since they are a PlayStation subsidiary, they can just look deep into the catalog and pull out whatever the fuck they want, which leads to some of the most deepest cuts of all time. Vibribbon, Wipeout, Alundra, Puppeteer, Devil Dice, Jumping Flash, Intelligent Cube, Flower, Mr. Mosquito. Not even I knew that shithead existed. Polygon. They even mentioned Japan-only games like Ori no Ryuri and Boku no Natsuyasumi. And since they have a bit of their already small budget to blow, I guess, they can take the time to mention obscure third-party stuff too, like Akami, Octodad, Humanity, Ace Combat, Ridge Racer, Klonoa, like I said previously, the Fall Guys Bean, and they also decide to throw in both iterations of the Aibo, which has not a damn thing to do with PlayStation, but everything to do with Sony, so I guess, sure. Why not? Basically, if you're a PlayStation-owned franchise, or a franchise that was exclusive to PlayStation at some point in your lifetime, or a sport of any kind, and are not owned by Square Enix, which is just actually disappointing. I had a feeling that there weren't going to be good sports about it, because when they weren't going to be a good sport about it, because when have they ever been a good sport about anything? But like, seriously, these guys were all over PlayStation for decades. Like, they've been a part of their long history all the way up until 7 Rebirth. Underperformed, I guess. But they really only play fair if they're physically involved, like Power Wash Simulator, Guys, Fortune Street, stuff like that. Maybe even with that in mind, they still said no, because they like money, and also hate money at the same time, apparently. I'm a big fan of Square, so like, for them to always act like this, not that it really matters. They're a big company, they don't care about me, they don't care about you, they don't care if they miss out on having a 2B bot in this game, unfortunately, but it's still disappointing in the sense that they missed the boat. Not even Konami missed the boat. Not even Activision missed the boat, and Microsoft owns them now. Crystal Dynamics is here, and Phoenix is their parent company. Literally everyone but Twisted Metal, for some reason, got the assignment. What was I talking about? Just to take things even further, in the Crash site, which is the hub, they brought back the Gachapon machine from Playroom, but this time, there are one of 3 new things inside. New colors for your dual speeder. The only ones I actually liked is the black DualShock 4 type color, the graffiti-like artistic one, with the first-party VIP bots, but they were pretty cool. Costumes for Astro, some based on VIP bots, unfortunately not all of them. Some are Red Panda, and oh shit, they did put Concord in here! Lastly, and most important, accessories for most VIP bots, which are references to the games they are from. Hitting a VIP bot on the Crash site will play an animation, and every single one of them, even the ones I don't understand, fucking amazing. The Hunter from Bloodborne parries your attack. The Prince rolls his Katamari and you can get caught in it. Jak and Daxter recreate the death animation. The Demon Souls guy also dies. Sackboy resets. And Klonoa does his hover thing. That's the 3rd time now. I'm not even sorry. And an even better part about these VIP bots is that a lot of them are put into levels that are themed around them. You find Sly, Joker, and the Dice Devil in the casino level, Cat and Raven in the desert theme level, Wander, Mono, and the Last Guardian protag are in the level with Big Brother because they both deal with giant things. Wander's even climbing on Big Brother. All of these references, hell, just the choices for bots in general, puts such a gargantuan smile on my face. It exponentially shows how Team Asobi remembers and cares about PlayStation's diverse history, which actually makes sense since this does appear to be PlayStation's 30th anniversary game. And the festivities don't stop there. After beating the boss, you will get a free VIP bot, but these guys are special because they also have entire levels based on their game. Ape Escape, God of War, After 3, unfortunately, Uncharted, Loco Roco, and Horizon all have their own levels. Like Kratos will give you the Leviathan axe and you become him. You can throw it and everything. That's what all of these levels are like. You get the time net and the radar, it even does the spin thing when you catch a monkey. And don't even get me started on Loco Roco level, bro. It entirely differ for the playstyle we've been through. These levels are where you get your ship parts, which you'll have to repair when you get back to the hub afterward. But you also get only bots from the series being represented, which in Ape Escape's case means 9 apes, 10 including Spectre, 11 including your outfit, and 12 including the other ape you get from Playroom. I haven't talked about that yet, have I? Uncharted, Horizon, God of War, Ape Escape, Loco Roco. That's my order from least favorite to most favorite. I didn't even hate the Uncharted one. I don't even hate Uncharted, but it just seems like the weakest one to me outside the precursor orbs in the last section. But the gun is auto-aimed anyway. Astro's Playroom got updated shortly after the reveal of Astro Boy. To celebrate the release, there were some new artifacts in the gacha machine, a countdown for the game's release, and hidden VIP bots in all 4 levels. Celine from Returnal, Maria from Bloodborne, Gran Turismo guy, and another fucking people monkey. Not Jake, not Yumi, not Jimmy, not even the Professor. I feel like we're lucky to even have a Spectre bot. These are absolutely horrendously difficult to not just find, but to unlock, because each bot is trapped and you gotta free them. But like, just how are you supposed to figure these out without a guide? It seems absolutely impossible to just find the driver without taking 3 hours. Once you get them all, they will be in the secret area where the countdown is happening, and once it reaches 0 and you party, they will be in the crash site under some rubble. They get a name and description, and they increase the maximum bot count from 300 to 304. And Master Onion increases it from 304 to 305. Liars. And by the way, in the final boss, it plays Thunder Force music, which is insane, but also, all the artifacts in the Playroom are apparently ships, so all the PlayStation consoles are a ship, the multi-tap is a ship, and the bots associated with specific artifacts are flying on it, like the SingStars guys are on the microphone and Buzz is on the Buzz controller. and all the PS1 characters are on PS1 accessories, and all the PS2 characters are on PS2 accessories, and the only handheld representation of this game is Loco Roco, Patapon, and Gravity Rush, apparently, etc. So not only are those artifacts not useless, but your crew is also not useless. And the ending proves that even more, but I'm not going to spoil that much. I will say, this final boss is also really good because the power-ups you get is randomly decided for each phase, though I think it's so much cooler during the shooting segment. That was the main game of Astro Bot, but shortly after its release, like not even a month, some more levels were announced to be coming, and they were going to be released one level every week for a month, which is honestly a very dumb practice that they really shouldn't have done twice. This is the reason why this video got delayed so much. Hey, Editing Jujika here, and it turns out they're actually not done with the game after all. They're adding 5 more challenge levels to it, and Atsu from Ghosts of Yotai, so yeah, it turns out they're actually not finished, and this video might quickly be outdated because I mentioned things that are like that could potentially happen, like the whole Square Enix bit and Twisted Metal not being there, and the fact that I'm gonna say they should start on the sequel instead, later on down the video. So yeah, that's very nice that I was almost done and they just decided to drop this whole thing as soon as I was done with the whole thing. Thanks a lot, guys. I can't wait to play, but thanks a lot for ruining my speedrun levels, which I guess should be a staple now since Astro's Playroom had them, which focuses on 5 different power-ups and includes 2 VIP bots each. Both you need to get by being fast enough. The blue bird can be cleared easily, but the red one is way faster. Beating them both will reward you with 2 VIP bots. Some of these bots are from games released near or after Astro Bot, like E from Stellar Blade, The Rise of Ronin Pro Tag, and 4 entire Helldivers, who should have arguably been placed where the blue bird is. But there are plenty of older characters too, like Kai Kisuke, Naruto from Heavenly Sword, significantly more clothed, and randomly Wesker from Resident Evil, who was in the volcano level, which is crazy, and the guy from Destiny, which I see more as an Xbox property, but it's really not anymore, so it works. Challenge levels, which can also be speedrun, but that's just if you want to make your life worse, because these are actually very challenging, if it wasn't already implied. The Bulldog is in both a speedrun and a challenge level, which is kinda lame because you have way more than 10 power-ups you could have used. These levels use the rest of the power-ups in the game that wasn't in the speedrun galaxy, which gives the bear a purpose, but not the mouse! These levels only give you 1 VIP bot this time around, but there's still decent choices like Tekken Tayachi and Toen, so now we have both Dark Cloud protagonists. We get some Ubisoft love with Jade from Beyond Good and Evil and Ezio from Assassin's Creed. A massive difference between this and the speedrun level is that they look more uniquely themed, and that's kinda sick. There are ice, desert, space, and Japanese inspired, sure, but they look so much different from those themes from the main game. It might be because of how the level is designed, but I think that's really cool. And finally, but technically previously because this was before the challenge levels, they released a Christmas themed level right after they took a W at the Game Awards. This level is pretty open, similar to the one water level, kinda. This one doesn't just include VIP bots, but costumes and dual speeder decals as well, including a nice Santa outfit you get to wear your first time playing. 15 collectibles within presents can be gained through exploration, using 11 entire abilities in the same level, including the mouse power-up! Finally! This level shows a lot of love to PlayStation platformers in its VIP bot selection. It also has worms. And the biggest surprise was them adding both Spider-Men, which is a massive flex for them, it seems. It really couldn't be more perfectly timed too, because platformers might really be back after this game. As of now, we don't know if there will be more DLC. That Christmas level was kind of a surprise. I'm not against the idea, but I'm kind of hoping for more of a sequel. The sooner they can get to that, the better, methinks. Also, now it takes like 10 seconds to load the entire hub world instead of 3, so I think they should probably stop there. Astro Bot is not only so close to being perfect, but it's the game that PlayStation needed in so many ways. Adding diversity to a small and stale library, using the power of the PS5 for more than just graphics, acknowledging franchises we thought were long gone for years. showing love to third-party PlayStation franchises alongside that, and also finally cementing Astro as PlayStation's definitive mascot, which is what many people have been wondering for a while. It definitely would have been Crash, but they didn't really own him, and they definitely don't own him now. Toro was known as Sony Cat, but he's more of a Japan-only thing. Ratchet & Clank is a good contender. Was. Sackboy makes the most sense. Not anymore. And Kratos doesn't really fit as a mascot because he's a big burly man and not like a little guy. Considering the bots are meant to be inside your PlayStation products and they dress up as PlayStation characters, he fits the bill perfectly. And if they continue to use him for future consoles, which seems incredibly likely, then he deserves that title. I have some very tiny nitpicks, like forcing you to stop at a cliff completely halting your momentum. Oh my god. Oh, fuck. It's like forcing you to stop at a cliff completely halting your momentum while making a jump. Some of the enemies, especially the goose-spitting ones, are really annoying to deal with. The supposed hardest level you get after completing everything isn't that hard. You can only be some VIP bots and not all of them, or at least all the first-party ones. I only hinted at it before, but also, this isn't the most replayable game ever. I platinumed it in less than 24 hours, and I had a lot of fun doing it, but once that's said and done, that's about it. Which was kind of attended to with the free DLC levels, but to be honest, releasing one level a week for a month didn't make it replayable at all. I just ended up playing the one level, seeing what the bot does when I punch it, and closing the game because... You expect me to wait? Astro Bot was well received enough to have a spot in not just several award shows, but the biggest one. The Game Awards Game of the Year, and it won over Shadow of the Erdtree. And I just know it was a close second, even if it shouldn't have even been considered. And although it didn't win Best Soundtrack, that is also really fantastic to listen to. The main composer, Kenneth C.M. Young, was head of audio at Media Molecule and has composed for pretty much everything Astro Bot. So him already having history with PlayStation and Astro Bot means he knows how a game like this should sound. And he knocked it out of the park, let me tell ya. Hopefully this shows PlayStation one of three things. To actually give a shit about older franchises. Like, not all of these are gonna magically come back, obviously. Like, we don't need them to. Like, we don't need a new Vib Ribbon. That physically hurt me to say. Like, that game is endlessly replayable anyway. And that's the thing. These old games are sometimes always there and available to play. Not all of these need new entries, but there's a reason why people were so sad about Japan Studio shutting down. Because so many of PlayStation's awesome experiences were connected to them. Team Asobi has people from Japan Studio since it was previously a subsidiary, but like other subsidiaries of Japan Studio, they don't have a lot of members and will also probably be forced to do only Astro games forever. And if that's the case, I'm sure it'll be simple to top this game in the level design department. But if they do go with the bot rescuing collectathon thing again, how will you top the cameos? Like, you don't have all of them, obviously. I just went on a whole tangent about Square Enix. But I feel like there aren't too many left to choose from, but I digress. My second point is a more diverse library. It seems pretty clear that they want to give these games new life by just referencing them, not outright mentioning them, which honestly feels like a blessing in disguise because it doesn't just seem like another advertisement for stuff you don't even care about. You can sell me on Wild Arms, but are you gonna make another one? Let them develop new games for older franchises. And if you don't want them to, let someone else do it. We just want not only more games on PS5, but more games that are less about the spectacle and more about the gameplay. And lastly, stop spending millions of dollars on stupid shit nobody asked for! Wait. What? Since when did... What? Since when did you... Were you there the entire time? Was I like this the entire time? Damn. That's... How did I not realize that? I'll turn back to normal in the next video. What do you mean no? Why are you shaking your head? I'm stuck like this? Fuck. Does this make me more marketable?
Okay, then it's fine.
Are you still here?